Mm-hmm. Paul Hollywood, he got the team right and won the Super Bowl. But that's all right. At least the Steelers went down in history. Just like a friend of ours who tried to cook food at the Super Bowl party. Do you see what he did? He burned up $12 worth of hamburger patties. This is what happens when you let somebody who's a Dallas Cowboy fan do something. They are stupid, they are ignorant, and they will not be at next year's party. Oh my goodness!
Well, at least not near the grill.
Not near the grill. Did you see this at home, people?
That looks like
would you feed this? Look at this.
That looks like a meat that was in a house fire.
Would you feed this to a guest that comes to your house?
Yeah, I'm even wondering if we should give it to the producer, Jack.
Oh my! Oh, Jack, come here. Oh, come on, get in it.
Jack.
See, look. Come on, see. Will he take it?
Jack
Jack will take it. Jack takes it. Yeah. All right. Let's talk all the sports creds. Let's talk some football. Finally, it's over with. It's done with. The season is over with, and now to me, I'm looking forward to a strike.
Well, I'm not really looking forward to
You don't think there'll be a strike?
Well,
come on, Paul. Tell the truth.
Well,
tell the truth.
Let's face
everybody
it.
Everybody is so. I mean, the Packer fans are so hyped. They won the game. They really, truly deserve to be the champions of the football world. However, there's a strike looming, like within not even a month.
March 3rd.
And these people.
But you know what you got to realize though is that nobody's really going to be bent out of shape of a lockout from March until to July. Now, come August, and if the training camps aren't open and there's no exhibition games, then they'll be upset.
Well, it shouldn't even go that far.
Well, the thing is, it's a real stickling point for me. I was listening to both sides over the weekend, and it's really hard. I mean, let's face it, if you're a player and you're hearing that the owners want you to give back $1 billion, not a million, but $1 billion back to the owners because they say they're broke. And
they look. And I don't care what happens if somebody gets this NFL corporate office or what. I'm speaking from the heart, from the gut, right here. Okay, these owners are full of shit. Well, they're really full of shit, Paulie. They're full of shit. You're getting $4 billion of TV revenue, and you don't even have to have anybody on the field.
I listened to the union rep for them this weekend. The guy's very smart, very articulate. I mean, they're not dealing with. What do you call it? Who's the guy that goes the
Gene Upshaw?
Gene Upshaw.
So what the 32 owners are now realizing that they're dealing with a smart brother.
Yes,
is what it is.
Very smart.
Not somebody from the hood.
And well, Gene Upshaw, you know, he was a player and he was okay, but he definitely, you know, caved into the owners a lot. You know, I mean, because you think about it, you know, they have probably the worst contracts and they're the most successful league. You know, I mean, because you think about it, a guy could have a $100 million contract, but that doesn't mean squat. It's just a signing bonus, and you're one injury away from not getting any money whatsoever being cut, and then just getting whatever you have as far as insurance benefits. So, but that being said, I really believe that somehow they'll have to work it out. See, the fact that they won't show him the books, and that's his main sticking point where I think he's really going to have a good case with the public. The fact that he wants the owners, if they're claiming they're so broke and everything, to release their books and show their finances to them, which they will not do. So I think he's got a major play in his favor, saying, if you guys are so broke, show me how you're so broke. The figures don't add up, you know, he can say. And if they're not willing to show their books, you know, I think he's got a good argument. Now, there are teams, let's face it, there are some teams that are richer than others. Like, I'm sure the New York Giants, the Cowboys, the Patriots are doing better than the Jaguars, but that's just
now the Jaguars, I can see the Jaguars saying they're broke.
Yeah, I mean, well, the Jaguars have spent their money poorly too. That's the only thing where a lot of times these union guys are saying, even in the NBA negotiations, that they're saying it's not the players' fault that the owners make bad deals, getting bad players that don't pan out, or they've overpaid them or whatever like that. I mean, that's the main problem in the NBA. What their union's saying is they're saying that they're overpaying some of these guys, giving them ridiculously bad contracts, and they're the ones that are making the deals. And when the deals don't work out and they're losing money, well, it's not their union's fault. It's the fault that the owners, if they can't afford to pay a player like that or whatever, they shouldn't sign those kind of contracts.
Well, I just feel I'm like the common fan. And at the Super Bowl party I was at, there were some very adamant people that were in agreement about this strike, that this is ridiculous. These owners are getting $4 billion in TV revenue, don't even have to put anybody on the field, but yet they're crying that they're broke? Give me a break.
Well, you're talking about $4 billion. That was just the money that ESPN's going to pay them. That's not the other money they're going to get.
See, cry that crap to somebody else.
I mean, it's just like I say, everything's paid for by the TV. So it's like you see, everything is great. It's just like, they don't want to be rich enough. I mean, you think Jerry Jones, like he has that palace, he had to do what he...
No, he doesn't have a palace, because if I was an AP writer, I would sue his butt, and then that palace becomes to me because all that snow and crap, ice that fell on that man. I would sue him. And you know who I would get? I would get my buddy John Morgan for the people.
Unfortunately, that's an act of God.
No, that's not an act of God.
It's an act of God.
You have got to be kidding me.
I'm telling you right now, if you go and look at the thing, if they have a liability...
If we're on property, Paulie, if we're on property to cover a game, and something falls and hits us, I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, if a piece of structure of the Cowboy Stadium fell in them, yeah. But snow is an act of God.
I don't know. John, what do you got to say about it? Okay, well,
and it probably wasn't just snow. It was probably ice. And the thing that's scary about that, I've been to that palace out there, and that's high. So you think the trajectory, how that came off that roof and him probably really was probably hurt him.
I heard the guy had a concussion, for crying out loud.
No, when you think about it, that's coming up the thing. And it wasn't probably snow at that point. It was probably hard ice that hit him. So I hope the guy's okay.
Yeah, we wish him well, but I'm just saying that there's... anyhow, I'm still kind of miffed. If you're just now following along and didn't even... I don't know what rock you were sleeping under. I mean, the whole world, even that new part of Sudan, the newest country in the world. Did you know that Sudan split? You've got Northern Sudan and Southern Sudan. Like you've got North Pine Hills and South Pine Hills. Anyhow, Steelers lose in a close one, 31-25. Some folks would say that the score wasn't indicative of the game. I know our buddy Charlie Bernstein would probably say that. I, who looked at it from a broadcaster's perspective, even though the Steelers turned the ball over 3 times, and one of them, Mendenhall, fumbling inside in the red zone, which could have put them up.
And he's the guy that's actually being named as the villain for losing the game, because at that point is when Pittsburgh had the momentum.
I would kind of call him the GOAT, and I would probably run him out of Pittsburgh on the Turnpike down 76.
I had my list of the top 5 observations. Number 2 is that Sean Mendenhall lost this game more than anybody for Pittsburgh with the second fumble in 3 games this postseason. Mendenhall showed he's a good running back, but not a great one. On the first play of the fourth quarter, they were on the verge of really taking a lead because they were down 21-17. Now, the first time they stopped them and they missed a field goal. I think.
Right. And do you know Sean Sweeson, do you know where he kicked last year?
UCF?
Washington. He was a Redskin.
Okay.
He was a bum, and they got rid of him. And he goes to kick for Pittsburgh, and he's a bum again.
But anyway, they held Green Bay. Now, the thing with Green Bay is...
Good barbecue, people.
They did not... Aaron Rodgers, who ended up being the MVP. That's why I'm wearing this shirt today, of course. But he
How did you get an Aaron Rodgers Super Bowl jersey that quick?
Because I'm Paul Hollywood, man. I make things happen.
Just like this barbecue.
But
okay,
anyway, you had the 2 wide receivers there that just really dropped some really both Donald Jordy Nelson dropped one and James Jones dropped one that would have been touchdowns.
Right.
And I can't remember on that particular play around that time. I think it was Nelson that dropped that one he threw, and they got the ball.
That was number 87, right?
Yeah.
Because we screamed about that one.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, he had a thing where he could have gone right down the field. So Aaron Rodgers, if you take those guys not dropping those passes, he would have had a pass for over 400 yards in that game.
Really?
Yeah, he would have definitely had those high stats. But that was a point of the game where I really think that Green Bay was on the ropes and Pittsburgh was coming back, and the fact that he fumbled at that point, and then Green Bay went and scored and went up by 10 after that, really changed the game. Actually, went up by 11 again. So that really was, I think, a major turning point in the game. But even then, Pittsburgh still at the end of the game had a chance they could have pulled it out. And like I say, I don't know that 2-minute offense they ran. I don't know what they were thinking about, but it was one of the worst 2-minute offenses I've ever seen run. I know you were screaming about it because he's throwing 20-yard passes incomplete. If he would have just been like Tom Brady throwing some dinks to some of his wide receivers or running backs, I think they would have had a drive that they could maybe come back and won the game.
All I know is, Jack, you did good going after that rib. It just amazed me why they didn't dink and dunk down the field, people. I mean, come on. 10 yards, get a first down. 10 yards, get another first down. That's all they had to do. There was 2 minutes left in the game. They were down by, 6? And you knew that it was a setup. To me, it was the ultimate Super Bowl setup to win a game.
Well, the thing is, in the beginning of this game, Pittsburgh knew what Green Bay was going to do because Green Bay could not run on Pittsburgh. So all they did was put 5 wideouts there, and they were just passing the ball all the time.
And Polamalu really didn't do anything in the game.
Polamalu was really exposed yesterday. Polamalu, I think, is a great player. I think he was hurt. I don't think he's totally healthy. I think maybe he was only at 60, 70%. I think he's got some nagging injury. But that being said, Polamalu, I think, guesses a lot of time. And a lot of times his instincts were good. Yesterday, his instincts were not good. When Jennings got that one touchdown in the end zone on the right-hand side where Polamalu went the other way,
right,
he totally blew that coverage. And I would say that was on him because that was his guy, and he went the other way thinking it was going to go that way. And Jennings went the other way to the end zone on the right-hand side of the field. So I would blame that touchdown solely on Polamalu being out of position.
Now, do you think there are going to be people that are going to walk around saying that the Packers are the new Destiny's Darlings of the NFL?
No, I don't. I think right now, if you look at the NFC, the last 10 years, you've had 10 different teams going to the Super Bowl. So I don't think so. I think you think of the Packers this year, they had a lot of injuries, and they dealt with it, and you got to give them a lot of credit. The fact that they made the playoffs with all the injuries. They lost Brian Grant, and they lost that other, who's their other prime receiver they have? Oh, I can't even. But he was out for the game. Their number one receiver was out for the whole season. So, losing your Artie was who was the number one receiver? I don't have him here. But the number one receiver of the year was out for them, their top receiver. So, being all the injuries, they had 16 guys on injured reserve total. So, they had a lot of guys out. And I really think the fact that, they got, dealt with the injuries during the year, and it really helped them in this game because the fact that they lost 2 defensive backs in this game, and that's when Pittsburgh started to come back, because then Pittsburgh finally realized, hey, their secondary is weak, so they went with the 5 wideouts, and that's when Pittsburgh started
Well, for crying out loud, by that time you already knew what was going on because, what's his name got hurt? Why do I want to say it was Donald Driver?
Woodson.
But no, Woodson. Yeah, Charles Woodson
Driver
was out.
hurt, but he's a receiver. He was offense. They had no problem with the offense. They had plenty of receivers. But when Woodson went out, and you had the other back went out.
I figured that when Woodson was out, it was bombs away, and I think that was the problem. They were too busy trying to bombs away when it should have been just dinking and dunking. Just get the first down. Hey, diddle, fullback up the middle. Oops, even though the fullback can't hold on to the football, tie a purse string around them or something. They had every chance to win that game, even though they did everything they could humanly possible to blow the game.
Well, I was at a party, and I'm at one of those parties where people take out those squares, and my one friend had the final numbers was 2 and 1, and so he was like, even though he hated the Steelers, was yelling, "Come on, Pittsburgh!" and like I say, he was just arguing because what are they doing? They were totally just for whatever reason offensively they were out of sync yesterday. I don't know why. It didn't look like the Pittsburgh team. Like I was thinking that we were going to look at what happened 2 years ago when they played Arizona when he threw that pass to win the game to Santonio Holmes.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Actually, everybody at the Super Bowl party I was at was thinking the same thing. That we've got it, no problem. They're going down the field. You've seen what's happened before. Roethlisberger plays like a bum, but they still win. And for some reason, it was just like the team. I don't know. Just like they maybe they saw George Bush up in the stands. You know,
No, I think they probably saw Cameron Diaz feeding A-Rod popcorn.
I mean, it just went there.
But you know what? I'll tell you when momentum had changed. Think about it. What did you think about that penalty where they called for grabbing the face mask on that return? That was not grabbing the face mask. I don't know if you had a good TV to see that. They grabbed underneath that, and he grabbed his jersey to pull him down, and it wasn't a horse collar pull. Remember what I'm talking about?
I remember the horse collar play.
And it wasn't a horse. It was like he grabbed the front. They said it was they called face mask. And if you look at the replay now, he never touched his face mask.
And where do they get these refs from, too? There was some very questionable stuff going on. I mean, it just didn't seem like a smooth flow to a game.
When I think they challenged the one where the receiver, they said, he had the ball and then they knocked it out, and the other guy jumped. I think it was a fumble, and I could have gone either way. I just felt like that was not that much of a conclusive play that they were going to overturn that. But, it could have been a reception and a fumble for what you could say when you saw the replay. But, like I say, it wasn't a definitive play that they weren't going to overturn that, I didn't think.
Well, folks, we'll be back with more of the Sports Crunch. And, of course, this is going to go up on YouTube. So if the NFL just bars me from all stadiums for the rest of my life, who cares? Somebody has to tell the truth. Here we go, Steelers. Oh, no. Here we go, Rick. Here we go. Can we go to a commercial break? At least I know one thing. The chicken wings were good. Well, Paulie, get yourself some chicken wing. Right here on the Sports Crunch, rock100diz.com.